Hello, everyone. I hope you had a good week. How are you guys? Comment down below and let me know how your week went. Today I'm doing a drawing for the YouTube Artist Collective. Actually, this is what I worked on this week, so I'm sharing that with you guys. I hope you like it. If you don't know what the YouTube Artist Collective is, I will leave a link to our Facebook page down below, and you can click it and find out about it. It's a really fun group of people. I love everybody in this group, and I love that we can kind of collaborate and do certain themes together. And so definitely encourage you to check out our Facebook page. You'll find so many wonderful artists. Down below in my description box, you will also see basically like a wall of links to these amazing artists that you need to check out. They are all participating in this month's YouTube Artist Collective, and our theme is to pick kind of like a spirit animal / an endangered species. So the animal I picked isn't quite endangered. It is the monarch butterfly, and the scientific name for that is Danis plexippus, in case you wanted to know. But it isn't really quite endangered yet. Over the last 2 decades, about 80% of the population has declined, so a decision has to be made by 2019. This agreement is with the Center for Biological Diversity and Center for Food Safety, and they're just kind of requiring this decision to be made by June 2019, whether they will receive federal protection for being endangered. In 2014, there were petitions to have protection for monarch butterflies, so there's a lot of concern over the populations. One really interesting thing I wanted to tell you about monarchs is that each adult butterfly only lives for about 4 or 5 weeks. So as I draw, I hope you have fun learning about monarchs, because I am going to tell you a couple facts. I really like butterflies because when I was in undergrad, I actually did like some research with a professor, and it was so much fun. We didn't really do research on monarchs, but we did research on some other species. But anyway, when you hear the word butterfly, you probably do think of a monarch because it's just kind of like that classic butterfly that's just very widely recognized in America. You can find them in Canada, the United States, and Mexico, and they're very notorious for this about 3,000-mile journey, give or take. It just kind of depends where they're traveling from. But they start this journey in the fall, and they go to the Sierra Nevada mountains in Mexico for the winter, and some of them go to like Southern California as well. It just kind of depends on what part of the United States they're in, which kind of determines where they migrate. So when monarchs are still in their larval stage, this kind of means they're still a caterpillar. They feed mostly on milkweed. Once they're adults, they feed on the nectar of flowers, and they do this with these really cool mouth parts called butterfly proboscis, and basically they kind of feed off of porous surfaces. So cool. That's kind of like what we did the research with. So yeah. Anyway, the proboscis is that it kind of, when it's extended, it kind of looks like this long antenna, but if you look really closely, it's not. It curls up into this really cool mouth part on the front of its face. So definitely Google some pictures of that if you're curious. It is so fascinating. Did you know that the coloring on a monarch actually is to let predators know that, like, hey, guess what? I don't taste good and I'm poisonous too, so don't eat me. That's kind of why they have that color scheme. And a couple more interesting facts before I start talking about my drawing process, because I know you probably want to hear that. But in the summer, monarchs actually produce 4 generations. That's a lot. That's so many. I think that's so cool. And finally, a lot of you guys are probably wondering, like, okay, so why did you choose monarchs if they're not actually endangered yet? There are threats to their populations, however. Climate change can really affect their populations. Like, if they get a cold, wet winter in the Sierra Nevada mountains in Mexico, that cold snap could like really hurt their population. If it's more of a dry winter, it's okay. I'm not really quite sure why the wetness affects their ability to survive. Another factor that could contribute to decreasing populations is, if they're losing milkweed, if they're losing these habitats that they depend on to survive as larvae, then we're not going to have as many butterflies. So as I said, monarchs are not endangered, but the IUCN, this is the International Union for Conservation of Nature, they have determined monarchs as a threatened phenomenon. So in 2019, we could be hearing another decision. Not really sure. It's kind of up in the air. I'm probably going to read up more on it because I find this stuff like super interesting. For the remainder of this video, I am going to discuss my art process. I know many people come to my channel specifically to hear about the process behind my work and the backstory. So I would like to delve into that for this portion. You'll notice the skin tones that I drew earlier kind of look different from my normal ones. I decided that I wanted to be a little brave with this, and instead of shading with browns and tans, I decided to shade with pinks. And I think that made her appear younger, which was kind of what I was going for. I wanted this naive look, like she's very innocent. It was very helpful for me to shade with pinks too because, well, first of all, I think it's actually easier. It just blends nicely with the already slightly pinkish yellow undertone that I did. So that was fun, and it kind of pushed me to try something new. The butterflies, I decided to just kind of lay down some color, and I observed a lot of butterflies online first and kind of tried to do my own thing. Like, I looked at the color patterns on the wings, and then I laid that down, and then I did the black, and then I did the white gel pen. After that, I decided, okay, we have two very bright butterflies on her body. How are we going to convey her hair and dress? So I decided to give her blonde hair. I knew that the background was going to be browns, but I wasn't sure what brightness I wanted that to be, So I thought, well, regardless, blonde hair will stand out, and I think it would look really cute up against her skin tones, so that's what I went for. She has a very yellowy blonde hair, and I thought it was so cute. I don't know, it was really fun to make it. And I did a very washed out pink for her dress. I did that by laying down a very light gray first. So you'll notice a little bit earlier I kind of colored. I know the timing on this video isn't really lined up because I gave those facts, but I'm trying to catch up, so bear with me. Anyway, I laid down a lot of like lighter colors first, and that's what I was doing. They were grays. So now I am laying down green in the background. I chose this Winsor & Newton marker because honestly, I don't have the greatest selections of greens and Copics, and I secretly kind of like Winsor & Newton markers a little better. I just wish they had refills, but I have some Winsor & Newton markers coming in the mail soon, so I'm really excited to use them. Anyway, I kind of did some splotches of color here and there. You'll see blues, purples, and pinks. And I know you're probably wondering, like, Miranda, what are you doing? Like, how are you going to blend that with marker right now? That's not gonna work. And I kind of felt this in the pit of my stomach as I was doing it, but I knew I was going to change it a little bit. So forgive me, a little bit kind of got snipped out. I forgot to hit record when I paused to go get some Q-tips. But I decided that I wanted to do an impressionistic look inspired by Claude Monet in my background, and I wanted to dab rubbing alcohol all over these splotches of color to kind of give it that look like an impressionist painting, and it took so many layers to do this. I feel like I probably spent like 20 minutes just doing this alcohol stuff. So what it is like if you use alcohol-based markers, you can use rubbing alcohol to dab on top of it, and it will do these like splotchy circles. It kind of bleaches the color and sends the darkness to the perimeter of each circle. Now, I am using the Copic Colorless blender fluid, same thing as rubbing alcohol, so you can pretty much just use what you have to do that if you want to try it. I've been kind of getting into it lately for like backgrounds that involve nature, but you don't really want to draw all those details because you want the foreground to be the focus. And I really want to keep playing with focal points in my drawings and learning how to, well, kind of like a photographer kind of gets like something in the background in focus and the foreground is blurred, or something in the foreground is in focus and the background is blurred. I think that effect is really cool, so I'm kind of trying to mess around and introduce it into my drawings. Especially because the Monarch was the theme of this, I really wanted that to stand out. So that's what happened. If you are interested in this piece, it is for sale in my Etsy shop. The original and prints are available. Probably within the next month or two, I will have some sort of other item like a magnet or bookmark or something. I'm about to add a couple things to my store. If you like this video, feel free to thumbs up and subscribe. YouTube has changed their algorithms, so if you could show the most support possible, it would be to definitely comment or like this video, because YouTube has been unsubscribing people from channels that they like. In addition, don't forget to check out all of the other participants in the YouTube Artist Collective. As I previously said, all of their links will be down below. Sources for information on the Monarch butterfly will be down below, and any other information that you might be looking for will probably be in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you soon, guys!